Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Crouch Jump Podcast. I'm Jay, and joining me as always is the man, the myth, the legend, Rob.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, it's going. Long vacation, man. Long
I
vacation.
know, I know. I had to host two podcasts by myself and then got lazy and didn't make the third.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was doing a cruise and gone for a week, and then the week before that, I was just busy preparing for that, and I don't even remember what I was doing the week before that, so. But yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's right. It was Thanksgiving. Shit. Yeah. Yeah, it was Thanksgiving. So, how's the channel been doing, man? What have you been uploading anything else? Let's
Oh
get into
man,
some
we've been
housekeeping
we've
here.
been
So,
tanking this shit.
oh yeah.
No, no. So in your absence, we've released what videos have we released in your absence? I'm actually gonna pull up the channel. I know we just released Drunken Wrestlers 2,
Oh
paraplegics
yeah.
versus quadriplegics,
Oh jeez.
and um, And then I did two podcasts that were just kind of free form talking a little bit, not as structured as when you're usually doing it.
Yeah,
Um, we have been uploading D&D,
of
um,
course.
and
That's
that's
still like our one session, right? Like it still hasn't caught up to like our
no, we
second
just
or third
finished our
session yet.
second session.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
we
Gotcha.
just finished the fight with the witch, so I have about two more. That's why we need to record this weekend, so I
Yeah.
have probably enough for two more videos. Um, so for
Yeah,
two
for
more
sure.
weeks, but we're gonna need to get more content.
Yeah, and absolutely. And I'm down to play, so hopefully
um,
everyone else is good to go.
I think everyone else should be. And then I put up the Coling video as well.
Oh yeah, the really old one.
Yeah, Benny Hill style.
Man, I miss the colon.
Actually, that Coling video is actually doing like compared to our actual channel. That Coling video has like the most views besides, oh, I guess
Really?
Peekaboo. Peekaboo's got 22, but
I wonder, is Culling still available for free on Steam? Are people like, oh, well, I see it for free, let me check it
I
out, like a
think the
YouTube?
servers are gone.
Oh, that's right. You know what? I I think I do remember seeing that. Yeah, the whole thing's dead. Fucking dead, man.
I was talking to Mike earlier, and he was saying that's true. Though it's sad that the Coling's gone because I'd actually go back and play it again.
Oh,
But
100%, me too.
um, Drunken Wrestlers 2, that video, Mike said that he was cracking up during. He thinks it's our best video.
Really? Oh
Yeah,
man,
that's the one that me and Mike did, so you've never seen it.
I've never seen it, so yeah, I definitely have to check that out. Uh, man,
But in terms of
yeah.
going forward, though, I was talking to, I probably won't go into detail on the podcast, but I was talking to Jaden about possibly kind of changing up. I don't want to call it a new format. Maybe it is a new format, but the way that we kind of record our video game videos, kind of change up. Uh, I don't want to say style. What am I looking for? What word am I looking for? Change up our
Uh, I
I
mean,
guess
I think
style. Let's just say
format kind of.
style, format.
Yeah,
Change
style.
up our
Yeah,
style and format of the videos and kind of get away from the less long-winded ones. I still want to finish our Pummel Party videos. Still want to do the full list
game.
of those. I want to get through all the levels,
Yeah, same. I love
um,
Paul and Party.
but outside of that, I kind of want to start making the videos 5 to 7 minutes long and kind of doing a little bit
Condensing it.
more not sketch oriented, but a little bit more ad lib oriented um, in terms of funny moments. So
Yeah.
we'll see. It's gonna be a little rough, but I think it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, for sure. I think it'll definitely make our videos more approachable, I feel, if they're only like not super long, like 20 minutes or anything like that.
Right, exactly. And make them more like ad libbed videos of just us ad libbing a ton and
Yeah.
really funny moments and then just taking that. I think that's gonna end up being good content,
Yeah, for
or at
sure.
least
And
better
speaking
content.
of yeah. And speaking of switching up styles, we're actually going to be switching up this podcast a little bit. The structure. I know
What?
it's probably already been different uh from when Rob was hosting it, but I've had a couple of ideas in the books, and I want to bring them out. And so we're gonna test a couple. I'm probably gonna test a couple different styles. This probably still won't even be the final format unless people really like it or whatever, or if it just works really well. Then I'm gonna keep it. But we're obviously testing some stuff out here and trying to get a feel for what we're actually doing. So Yeah, this is definitely gonna be a different style than what we did, at least from what we did before I was gone for pretty much all of November. And December is not looking too great either. I'm actually probably going to be gone in the next 2 weeks for Christmas and all that good stuff. So we'll see what happens, but hopefully we can get some stuff out.
Well, and I'll keep on. I'll pick up the slack there. I won't skip out on another week like I did.
Yeah. And then January we will be born anew.
Born anew in January.
Yeah. So what have you been playing, man? Let's get into what we're playing here.
Right now I've mainly been playing Jedi: The Fallen Order. I've been on a huge Star Wars kick. I think I mentioned this on a previous podcast when you weren't here, but yeah, I'm on a huge Star Wars kick. I'm loving Jedi: The Fallen Order. I think I'm in
Nice.
the last quarter of the game. I wanna say.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Um, and then I've been playing Halo Reach, man.
Yes, Halo on PC finally.
It's
Everyone, if you have
good.
not downloaded it,
I
download it
just
now if you have Game Pass.
The only thing though, and this is what it's really missing in my opinion, is Forge, man. They haven't released it on PC yet. The
Wait,
Forge stuff.
what? What do you mean they haven't released PC on Forge? I haven't opened up the game yet. I just got back from my vacation yesterday, so I downloaded it yet last night, and I'm here now recording the podcast, and I haven't played it yet. But seriously, no Forge, so no custom games, or I mean, I guess you could do custom games on like
Well,
other random maps, but
I was reading something about some mods adding it in, so I'm gonna look into that. But as of right now, officially, no. It is not.
oh man,
I know,
that
right?
sucks. That sucks so hard. Hopefully you're still able to make like game types, so like maybe we could do video of zombies or something like that, because that'd
Oh,
be a ton of fun.
once we get custom games, probably gonna be doing a lot of custom game videos. We're probably
Yeah,
gonna see a lot of that coming
because
into
we're
the
all big
channel.
fans of Halo here. Like I'm a huge fan of Halo. I know Rob, you like Halo too, so
I love Halo, man. And what's funny too is I don't know if you knew this, but Mike had only played the first two like a long time ago. So
what? Are you
this is
serious?
yeah, so this is practically like
Wow.
new to him,
He's kind of
practically.
our Xbox boy too,
Yeah, he is. Um,
and he didn't care too much for Halo.
but he's like he's so far he's liking it right now,
Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
that's good.
Does it have SWAT?
Yes, it does.
Okay, sweet. That's like or at least like matchmaking SWAT, not just
The,
like as a custom game.
it's a social game, so yeah, matchmaking SWAT, yeah,
Okay, gotcha. Gotcha. Sweet. Awesome. I love SWAT. This is like my favorite game mode.
SWAT's fun, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess I'll talk about like what I've been playing on the well, I'll talk about a little bit what I've been playing on the cruise. So on the cruise I took my Switch
Ooh,
and I played some games I've been missing out on like Octopath Traveler. I played
okay,
that a shit ton on
that
the
was really
plane
good.
ride and stuff. Yeah, man, I love Octopath
I
Traveler.
saw
That
the
was
art
really, really
style, and the
good.
art style is fucking dope.
Yeah, it's super, super good. I have some gripes with it. Like, I feel like it could just be like just the slightest bit better. You know what I mean? Like, there's always those little gripes, but other than that, yeah, it's a really, really good game, and I feel like I missed out on that. Um,
I want to play
and
it.
then I played a little bit of oh shit, what was it? I had God Eater 3. Yeah, I think it was God Eater 3. I was trying to remember what number it was, but I believe it's God Eater 3 on Switch, and that one's pretty fun too. I'm not the biggest fan of God Eater. I never watched the animes or anything like that, so I wasn't like too into it. But it's definitely. I know me and you played the like God Eater 2. It's definitely better than God Eater 2. Like I
We did,
think
did we
we would
play
have
it?
some
I
fun.
didn't play it.
Did we not play that?
No,
I thought we played it for
we
like
talked
two
about it.
seconds.
Oh, maybe
Yeah,
for
we
2 seconds. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we played it a little tiny bit. But this one's definitely better, but still. And then before that, I've also been playing Fallen Order, and it's pretty good. It's actually a lot harder than I thought it would be. Uh, for some reason, I don't know, online I saw like a bunch of like reviews and you guys, or at least you and Andrew and a couple other people like just saying like, "Hey, play it on like hard." So I started playing it on hard, and I was like, "Man, I don't
Are
know
you
if I
playing it on
signed
the
up for
hardest or the
another
second hardest?
the hardest."
Oh, I didn't play it on the hardest. I played it on the second hardest.
I'm
Andrew
playing it
played
on
it
the
on the hardest.
hardest. Yeah, and I don't know. I am thinking that now that I'm back, I think I'm going to decrease it to the second hardest. Just because I didn't sign up for a Souls game, man. I didn't sign up for it. I like it. I like it so far, but at the same time, whenever I'm like sitting there just trying to progress the story, and my girlfriend watches me play, and we're both liking the story and stuff, and I'm just dying over and over and over again. I'm getting better at it, but I'm just dying over it. I'm just like, all right, I'm ready to throw in the towel and just be like, I got nothing to prove out here, so I might just put it to the second hardest. Which I think is more balanced because from what I saw, it looked a little more balanced anyway. So
Second, well, I was reading the descriptions, and a lot of times I just play on normal difficulty, but I
yeah,
was reading the descriptions on this, and they're basically normal difficulty basically said if you're like new to action adventure games or something like that, and I was like, I'm not
yeah,
new. I look at
yeah,
the other
we're
one, it's like
fucking
seasoned veterans.
pros.
I was like, that's me. And
Yeah,
it's good
exactly.
because I pretty much I just die here and there. Even on the most recent boss, I remember dying initially from him, and I was sitting here going like, this guy's gonna be a pain. So I got off and I came back the next day, popped back on and beat him on my first try, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, exactly, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. So, yeah, I didn't sign up for a Souls game. You know what I mean? Like when you buy Dark Souls, you like stare at the case, and you're just like, oh fuck, I'm getting ready to get in it. For this game, I like booted it up, and I was like so excited, and I was like, oh man, everyone keeps telling me to play on the hardest difficulty, so I'm gonna do it. Did it? It was like just wrecked. So, so
Yeah.
yeah, I'm probably gonna change it back, but I like it so far, and it's probably one of the better games this year. So, uh, yeah, that's pretty much. Oh, I beat Catherine Full Body, but besides that, I
Look
guess
at
it's
this
kind of
guy
a
playing his
throw
little
out there.
J-pop games.
Yeah, my little Japanese ni hao. Oh
Yeah.
wait, that's Chinese. No wait, I don't know. Anyway, let's get into the old tradition of the news. The headliners is what I'm calling it now, because we're going to go over some news. And I noticed that in previous podcasts that we've been kind of like some news. It was like, hey, there was like some cool Fortnite news, but we don't really play Fortnite, so there wasn't really much to talk about. So
Yeah, fuck
that's kind of the
Fortnite.
idea for this. We're going to go into some news. So if you come here for news, you can kind of get that now, and then we're going to go into deeper discussions later on in the podcast. So let's go ahead and get into it. We have about six things on the list here. So number one is the Game Awards, which are coming up this Thursday, uh, as of recording this, and they are going to include around 10 new game reveals. Now, I wrote this morning, and I actually saw something newer that said that they announced 15, but I don't want to fully confirm that yet, but definitely 10 right now. But yeah, so 10 to 15 brand new games are going to be revealed at the Game Awards, which is pretty sick. So this comes from Video Game Chronicle, Tom Ivan, uh, and he has a quote here from Jeff Keighley, who's the host of the Video Game Awards. Quote, we have a bunch of brand new games being announced at the show. I think there are around 10 new games slash projects being revealed if you want to count the things that no one has heard about yet. So, yeah, things no one has heard about yet. 10 brand new things and maybe 15.
That's
So,
exciting. No, that sounds pretty
yeah.
cool to me.
Last
Events
year,
like
I
that are
believe
always
they
kind of exciting.
announced. Yeah, last year they announced some pretty big games, so it's almost like this is a second E3 for everyone. I feel like the Game Awards are becoming a second E3.
Well, there's always stuff like that, like Tokyo Game Show, and
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's it. I don't know.
Xbox, what was it? Xbox uh Live or some shit. I don't know. Well, the last podcast I was on, we talked about the Xbox Experience or whatever that
Oh
everyone went
yeah,
to
and
in
then
Paris. Yeah.
yeah. I'm excited. That's gonna be cool. What time is it?
Uh, that's a good question. I imagine later in the day though, but
Right? Because yeah,
looks like well, I'm trying to well, I guess for you. So for me, I'm Central Time, so I was trying to do some math here. But for you, it's going to be 9:30
hey, all right. I'll probably
p.m.
put it on.
So for me, it's 8:30.
Put it on while
So
I'm doing
yeah,
something else.
yeah, exactly. See some trailers. It's gonna be pretty good. Number two, BioShock to return in next gen, led by brand new 2K studio. And this comes from James Brightman at GamesDaily.biz. Quote, as and this is actually coming from David. He got a quote from David I don't know how to pronounce that last name. Ismar, president of 2K. He said, quote, "As we continue growing our product portfolio, we remain inspired by opportunities to invest further in our valuable IP, great people, and their collective long-term potential. BioShock is one of the most beloved, critically praised, and highest rated franchises of the last console generation. We can't wait to see where its powerful narrative and iconic first person shooter gameplay head in the future, with our new studio team at Cloud Chamber leading the charge." So, new studio, led by completely new people, make it a Bioshock game. And I saw Jason Schreier tweet earlier that this game has actually been in development for a couple of years. So it's been like 2, 3 years maybe that this game has been in the works, and this new studio has been around. So
That's
we'll
what
see. I'm pretty excited though
that's
about
what
new
I've heard
Bioshock.
too. I've heard this a couple years. Here's the big thing. I what made the previous Bioshock special really was the writing, the world building, and
Oh yeah,
the
hundred
characters
percent.
that they created. All that stuff combined. Yeah, the gameplay's fun, but that's not what made these games memorable. That's what made these games special. And so without Ken Levine, it'll be interesting to see how what they do. I mean, I think it's a good thing that it's been in development for a couple of years, and it sounds like it's still a couple of years out. It sounds like they're putting care into it instead of kind of just churning something out like Assassin's Creed or something.
Yeah.
And so and I got $5 that it's going to be in space. I mean, I doubt they have any good ideas. It's going to be in space.
Yeah, I want it to just go back, like just go back underwater, go back to the old shit, man. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want a reboot of the franchise, but I wanna go back to that because I did like Bioshock Infinite, and I actually think like Bioshock Infinite is like really really good.
Oh,
Uh,
oh,
but
I got a great idea. They should pay me.
oh yeah, what's
Here,
that?
I already know the twist to the next one.
What's that?
So it goes back underwater, right?
Yeah.
And for the first half of the game, it seems like kind of like almost like a soft reboot or something like that of BioShock, and then like you realize that like the big twist, I guess I don't know how they do it, I don't know how they pull it off, but the big twist is that you're actually underwater on an alien planet,
Oh jeez.
and you actually realize that this isn't the past, this is the future.
I mean, sure.
But
I don't
come
know
on,
if I
that's
buy that
cool.
one. I mean, it is cool. That you are right. That is definitely a whole lot cooler than just plain going to space or who knows where the hell they're
Right,
gonna
you
go
get to go
next.
back underwater, and you're like, okay, this is kind of a reboot. We're back into Rapture again. This is this, that, and this, and next thing you know, you're actually in, a bajillion years in the future, and then, or it's like Rapture, but with Cthulhu underwater monsters and stuff. I don't know.
I mean, that would be cool. I think some Cthulhu influence would be pretty sweet. But yeah, yeah, I don't know. I have no idea where they're gonna go with it, and I guess we'll see. I guess we will see brand new studio and everything. So hopefully they, like he said, like that kind of like narrative. He even expects that they're gonna bring like a powerful narrative and everything like that. So I hope they stick with that, and it's not just like mindless shooting or just kind of bullshit. And I hope it's not like a one of those like service games or whatever, like fucking uh Anthem or live service games like Anthem or Destiny or anything
I
like that.
wouldn't mind. See, I don't. The thing about it is, I don't inherently hate those kind of games. If they do it correctly, like I would glad, because I love Destiny 1. I love Destiny 1. I thought it was
Yeah,
great.
Destiny 1 was pretty good. Yeah.
It just had problems in terms of content and
Yeah.
how it sold its maps and stuff.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'm pretty cautiously optimistic is the word I was looking for, actually. But number 3. PlayStation is going to have its final state of play this year. So this comes from their Twitter, the official PlayStation Twitter. 2019's final episode of State of Play kicks off Thursday, December 10th at 6 a.m. Pacific time. Which I guess is I don't even know what time that is for me. And then it's gonna have 20 plus minutes of news, game reveals, and updates. So it's actually gonna be pretty long this time. The state of plays have been so disappointing this year, man, and so I don't even know
I haven't
why
been
they
watching them,
bother.
so
You haven't been watching them? I've been watching every single one of them, and they have been pretty disappointing. I think they did show a Last of Us trailer on the last one, the last State of Play, they had like a Last of Us 2 trailer, which was like, yes, hell yeah, like I want to see that, but everything else before it was kind of whack. So uh, did not care too much for it, and they tried to pretty much pull a Nintendo this year. They're like, hey, we're gonna have a whole bunch of State of Plays instead of showing up at E3, just like Nintendo does with their like Nintendo
Nintendo does it
Directs.
well though.
Yeah, Nintendo actually does it well and gives me stuff to look forward to. So I don't know, kind of weak from Sony's part, but we'll see. 20 plus minutes. That's the longest one yet. So hopefully they kill it. And number 4, Resident Evil 3 remake cover art leaks alongside Resident Evil Resistance art. This comes from Steve Watts from GameSpot. Quote, given the quality of Resident Evil 2, fans have been hoping for similar treatment for the original version's classic PlayStation sequel, Resident Evil 3. A new leak suggests that's just the case. Cover art for Resident Evil 3 remake has popped up on the PlayStation Network. That's pretty awesome. I mean, I love Resident Evil 2, so Resident Evil 3, hell yeah, bring it on.
But I think we
Let's
all
do
knew
it.
it was coming. So
Yeah.
personally,
I
Resident Evil 2
never
was amazing. So
I feel like a lot of people play Resident Evil 2. I don't remember, at least when I was a kid, like any of my friends or anyone I knew really caring too much for Resident Evil 3. Do you like
I never
remember that
played
at
any of
all
the
or
Resident Evils, the originals.
Oh, really?
I know that Resident Evil 3 is Andrew's favorite. So
Really?
yeah.
Wow. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, I never played it. I didn't really know anyone that well, I guess now I know Andrew, but besides that, like I don't know. It kind of slipped under the radar, I feel like, for a lot of people. So it's
Well,
cool, but as long as they make it in the same style, same everything as Resident Evil 2
oh, you
remake, I'm
you know
totally
they're
down.
gonna do that. And I've heard that Resident Evil 3 is a little bit more crazy and a little bit more action packed than Resident Evil 2. So
Yeah, which is super cool. So however, man, I fucking leaks. I'm so sick of leaks. God, I don't know how. Do you like leaks at all? Do you ever like pay attention to them or try to? Like, I just happened to pass this, and I was like, okay, cool, I'll check it out.
yeah,
But
leaks
for
are
the
cool.
most
Why
part,
not?
yeah, just see everything early.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I don't
I'm
like
not a big fan.
spoilers, but
I like to be surprised.
leaking
Yeah, it's like
information's cool.
spoilers. Like, I would love to see like a trailer at the Game Awards or
Oh, if
something.
you're
You know
talking
what I
about
mean?
that,
And
yeah, I
like,
would much prefer to be shocked by seeing a trailer. But I mean, part of this though is we all knew. Speaking of leaks, I'm going to tell you something after we get done with these. But Resident Evil 3. I mean, even if we saw the trailer, we all knew it was coming.
that's
So
true.
we'll
Yeah,
still
we
be
all knew it
shocked
was
and we'll
pretty
be like,
much
"Oh my
coming.
gosh, we're
So
gonna get to see gameplay!" Like,
yeah, so that should be good. Number 5. Uh, sources: Microsoft is still planning a cheaper diskless next-gen Xbox, and this comes from Jason Schreier from Kotaku. Quote, in June, Microsoft announced Project Scarlet, a new iteration of the Xbox that the company said would set the bar for console power, speed, and performance. What Microsoft didn't say is that it's also working on a lower cost diskless version of Scarlet, codenamed Lockhart, according to 4 people briefed on the company plans. So I can never say that, fuck.
diskless,
Diskless. I
dickless,
always want to say dickless. I don't know why. Dickless.
the
New
dickless version of
Xbox.
Scarlet.
Yeah, the dickless version of Scarlet, whose name is Lockhart. Uh, yeah, I think that's really cool. If it has the same power and speed as the other Xbox, or even if like Sony did this, because I'm probably not going to buy an Xbox now that we're getting everything on PC. But
That
still,
was one of the things I was actually going to bring up was why would I even want to buy an Xbox now when I
yeah,
can there's no point if everything's going to be
it's on
on
PC.
PC. And maybe we're just not the target audience anymore, you know, because there's going to be people
Yeah,
out there who
exactly.
don't have a PC and they're going to want to play Halo Infinite, you know.
Yeah. But let's say Nintendo or Sony did this as well. Would you be more, and it was like the same speed, same power, would you
If it was
just not
cheaper,
want to
yeah.
use discs? Yeah, if it was cheaper, would you just never use discs again?
Maybe, probably. Why not?
I think yeah, I totally agree. I would absolutely do it. I don't think Sony's gonna do that, but I think it's a cool move. If it's actually gonna be the same performance and everything, then I think it's way smarter to get that version. Discs are becoming a thing of the past, and I feel like I download everything nowadays. I rarely ever buy the disc. I think I have the disc for Death Stranding because we got the special edition. I guess that's one thing you'll miss out on is special editions. But now they have the digital special editions, so
Well, I buy everything digitally on PC anyways, so About the only thing
That is true.
I don't buy digitally is Nintendo games because they hold their value better and I can just resell them, which is what I recently did.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, they do resell pretty well. Number six. Now that you're gonna, I want to hear your opinion on this because you play Rocket League a lot. So, so number six. This comes from Sean Carey at True Achievements. High price cosmetics in Rocket League are causing outrage amongst players. Quote, Rocket League's latest update removed blind loot boxes for a more transparent system that went live last week. However, players are not happy with the change, citing prices of around $15 to $20 for cosmetic and blueprints being far less rewarding than those of loot crates. Have you seen that at all, or checked out Rocket League lately, or
Oh yeah.
really been
Oh
paying
yeah.
attention to that?
Um,
Oh yeah, I definitely want to hear what you have to say about this because you definitely play Rocket League more than anyone else I know. So
so good and bad. It's good in that loot, as much as people like think of loot crates as cheaper. In
yeah,
reality, like it was $1 to open up a loot crate, and you're more than likely gonna get something you didn't want. You probably could have spent $30, $40 on a loot crate for a one item and get nothing. So,
yeah,
on one hand, I say yeah, it's absurd that you have to pay $15 for a cool skin, but on the other hand, in reality, you're buying what you want, and there's still not like it's not like a store that has all the skins you just pick. You still have an element of unlocking these blueprints, and also they have like a store now that changes every day what's being sold. So yeah, I don't like that the price is that high. Um, and there was kind of like a tricky factor with there was a nice factor with the when you got something like super rare from those loot boxes, you always felt like, oh, I'm special. But
yeah,
but at the end of the day, like, let's put it this way: I got a $50 gift card recently, and I literally spent it on Rocket League,
Oh
and
damn.
and I went ahead and I got I got this super cool frame that I had a blueprint for that I paid for, and then I got this brand new animated decal on my vehicle. I bought both those things. It cost me like like $25, but uh they're super cool, and there's two things that I probably would have never been able to obtain if blueprints weren't a thing.
Yeah, you would have bought a shit ton of loot boxes and got a bunch of stuff you didn't want.
Right, if I would have spent the same amount of money. If I would have spent $25 on loot boxes, I guarantee you I would not have gotten those two combinations of great items. I and probably wouldn't have gotten any great items. So,
Yeah. So do you are you all for it or do you think hey maybe they should go back? Like what do you think?
uh, I think this is better than what we had
You
before,
think it's better?
but I don't
Okay.
necessarily think
It's great.
it's great. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I
Yeah, I can
think
understand that.
before it tricked people into thinking that like, oh, it's just $1 for one key, but you realize that you're opening up a crate that is like 98% chance going to give you something you don't want.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But
Well,
I think the thing that people did like about the crates was that you can still unlock keys um, in game. So technically you could get any item for free, but the keys you unlock in game come very slowly, and like every time I use
tediously.
those keys, I pretty much got nothing.
Yeah. Damn.
So I guess from that
Well,
aspect, yeah, it's better. But
yeah. Yeah, that's definitely better. High priced, but better. So now we are actually going to get into a news segment. So that's all the news that we have for this week. That is the
oh,
headliners. Um,
speaking of leaks, can I tell you something that leaked?
yeah, go ahead. We'll throw in a seven here. Go
So
ahead and
you know,
some breaking news here.
breaking news. So you know, we just were. So you weren't here when they announced Half-Life Alyx, right?
I was not. No,
And but you were aware of it, right?
I am aware
I
of
mean,
it.
you've
Yeah,
seen the trailer,
yeah,
and it's gonna use the Valve Index. Well, you could use the HTC Vive, but it's gonna mainly use the Knuckles controllers, which are really cool. And it's gonna be like
yeah,
a full
yeah. I've seen
15-hour
those.
game, and it looks freaking awesome. And it's the whole reason I'm buying a Valve Index.
Oh,
Um,
you're getting one. Well,
oh
now this is
hell
news to
yeah!
me.
Yeah, yeah, dude. I'm getting a fucking Valve Index as soon as I think with my tax
Nice.
returns. I think with my tax returns, I'm gonna get the Valve Index, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna get. Oh, I cannot wait to play Half-Life Alyx. But there's another game that leaked for the Valve
Oh yeah,
Index,
what's that?
Left 4 Dead VR,
Oh shit. Now that would be pretty cool.
and I am pumped as fuck for that because they've already said basically the leak said like yeah they're pretty much like the games in could probably be released today in beta like it's that far along.
Wow.
So I'm
I hope it's like moddable as Half-Life 2 or not Half-Life, Left 4 Dead 2.
oh it
Cuz
probably will
Left 4
be.
Dead 2 with all the mods and shit, dude, it was so much
But
fun.
but imagine
Like we played the shit out of that. It was so much fun.
yeah, Left 4 Dead just had yeah, Left 4 Dead had a ton of fucking great mods and it had just so much longevity on the PC anyways. Um, but I mean, imagine I was already thinking about how Half-Life Alyx is kind of like this killer app that's gonna bring a lot more attention, a lot more users to VR, and then you're gonna bring in Left 4 Dead, which is gonna bring that multiplayer aspect, like.
Yeah, it's gonna
And
be
imagine how
sick.
terrifying that game would be with the zombies rushing at you. You're going around corners and stuff. You're being grabbed. That game is gonna be so intense. You're
Yeah.
gonna have a heart attack
Especially if
playing
they're
it.
dressed as Teletubbies.
Yeah, oh, no, that's better, dude. We're gonna run
Yeah.
around as like naked people and stuff, and people are just gonna be really weird online.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be awesome. uh, yeah, no, I did not hear about that Left 4 Dead days though. That's awesome. Uh, yeah, definitely can't wait for that. That definitely makes it worth it to get a VR headset for PC for sure. Because I've been kind of iffy about VR, and I wanted more like games like this, where it's like I want like a real full blown like you said like Left 4 Dead, uh,
Right.
like Left 4 Dead. Then we also have
Half-Life
Half-Life
Alex.
Alyx, like yeah, Half-Life Alyx with like it being like an actual story-driven game. And I always feel like these games on VR right now are just kind of like gimmicks,
Right.
you know?
Have you
So
have you ever used a VR headset?
I used one on. It wasn't a real one, so I guess no, not really.
Well, I owned a Oculus, the original Oculus Rift at one point. I bought it off like Craigslist because I was like, oh, I want VR. And it was a cool
Yeah,
novelty, but I think my biggest issue that I had with the headset was the resolution was awful. And it wasn't
was it really?
as intuitive as I wanted it to be, and a lot of stuff was expensive.
Looks like a lot of wires.
Yes, well, here's the thing, Valve Index, well, at Valve Index you do plug in, but it doesn't have like the Oculus Rift has like these camera things you have to set up that kind of like scan the room. Valve Index doesn't
Yeah.
have that, or
Oh,
it doesn't
cool.
need it.
That's
There's
good.
actually these things that are kind of like that, but just way better, that you can buy, but it's not needed at all. It's all in the headset. But I returned it because ultimately I didn't like the resolution. It wasn't good enough for me. I felt like I was playing a cheap arcade game. Even when I was playing like
Yeah.
Skyrim, I played Skyrim VR, which was actually pretty damn cool. But just I don't know the resolution, kind of way it looked, it very felt very much like a '90s arcade kind of experience. And uh,
Yeah.
and so I sold it. I sold it to my brother actually, with the mindset of like I'm gonna wait until like there is an affordable one that has way better resolution, and maybe some more games come out. With
Yeah.
the announcement of Half-Life Alyx and the Valve Index having really good resolution, people
Yeah,
said
that
really good
sounds
things about
perfect.
it. Yeah, I'm all in now.
Yeah. And speaking of arcade, that's actually where I tried VR. I went to this like arcade that had a VR room where like you were able to like pay money and you go in with like a couple friends, and it was like this big ass fucking room that was like fully VR. But I can't get that in my living room, so I don't really count it as like actually experiencing or trying like a VR in my living room or in my office or anything like that. So
Right, fair
yeah,
enough.
and that one was pretty cool, but of course, it costs a lot of money. So, and it was a giant room full of cameras. So, um, but yeah, so no, that looks sick. Uh, so now we're gonna get into something brand new. So now I'm gonna bring the topic of the show. So now we're gonna have like an actual topic. Now that we're done with the news, we're done with the headlines and the breaking news. Uh, so now we're gonna get into more discussion here, and just kind of I'm gonna present a pretty much overall topic that we'll discuss and have fun with. So for this podcast, we're gonna go ahead and go. The topic of the show is Game of the Year. Now that it's December, uh, it's about that time to discuss what our favorite games of the year were. So I had Rob draw up a top five list. I have a top five list as well with some notable mentions. Then we might also go into a little bit of discussion about like the game awards that we were talking about earlier, and like kind of go through some of that and see what games we pick. For like best action game, best adventure game. There's not a whole lot of categories that they have, so we'll go through that real quick as well and see what we'd actually pick for game of the year out of that list. But for topic of the show, we're actually going to start from number five, which is, I would say, our least favorite, all the way up to our first favorite. So I have mine in order. Do you have yours in order, Rob?
Yes, I do.
All right, perfect. So we're going to start with number five. So you go ahead and start it off, Rob. What's your number five?
My number five is The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening on the Nintendo Switch, the remake.
Yeah, and
Um,
you've been gushing about that game,
dude,
at least right before I left.
yeah, I want to be honest, I haven't been playing it a ton lately, but I need to because a Pokemon came out, so I started playing Pokemon. But um, that's here nor there. We're talking about Legend of Zelda, and yeah, no, the game's absolutely solid, and it's the art style is it's just it's a beautiful freaking game, dude. They did a wonderful job making this game look pretty unique, especially since it's a remake.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I definitely want to get it for the Switch as well. I haven't gotten around to really, like I said, on this cruise, I pretty much took my Switch and everything, and that was really the only time that I played it in a while. Besides like the party games, like I played Mario Party and stuff like that. But besides that, I haven't really sat down on my Switch in a while. But no, yeah, that's definitely a good pick. For me, number five is Far Cry New Dawn, and this was released on March 8th, 2019. And I originally had Devil May Cry 5, but once I remembered Far Cry New Dawn came out this year, I had to bump Devil May Cry down because I'm just a huge Far Cry fan, and I just love being dropped in this world. I was able to do some co-op with my girlfriend. She hopped on. We were running around just shooting everything and anything, and it was just so much fun. And I actually really like Far Cry 5, and the fact that this was a sequel, like directly after that, it answered all my unanswered questions.
Wasn't Far Cry
And
5 the one with the rednecks and stuff?
yeah, it was.
Okay, so this is a
Uh,
direct sequel. This is a isn't this post-apocalyptic or something?
yeah, so Far Cry 5 has been out for a while, and I guess if you play New Dawn or know of New Dawn, you pretty much know the whole point of Far Cry 5 was the main dude was trying to launch nuclear. He had like nuclear codes and stuff, and he wanted to launch nukes on the entire world. So all the nukes go off, of course, at the end of Far Cry 5, and now New Dawn starts, and it's post-apocalyptic. It's like very 80s, has like 80s colors, and it's actually pretty cool. And I fucking loved it. I had such a blast with it. And going back to that world, back with you meet a couple of the characters from the past game, and I love Far Cry 5, so Far Cry New Dawn is definitely number five for me.
That's awesome.
It was super sick.
The one Far Cry game I really adored was what was that one that was like an 80s action movie? It was like a short game. It was like
Oh, yeah,
Blood
that was like an
Dragon. Blood
add-on.
Dragon.
Blood Dragon,
I
yeah,
loved Blood Dragon. Does this kind of have a
yeah,
not I obviously Blood Dragon's like
yes,
it does.
yeah. It has a huge influence from Blood Dragon because there's a lot of things that they can get away with because like you're able to get like these mutations like from pretty much like the radioactive waste and stuff. And so now you're able to like double jump and like just crazy shit like that. That it made it so much more fun and awesome. And it reminded me a lot of Blood Dragon. Not as futuristic and like, like Tronish, I suppose, like with neon lights, but it was still more grounded, but you were able to get these cool mutations and it was really cool. And I love Far Cry, so that was awesome this year. Sorry, Devil May Cry 5, because I do like Devil May Cry, but man, I had to bump that off the list.
Num-
Number four, man.
Number
What's your number four?
4. I think we have the same number 4. Ooh.
We oh yeah, we do have to say number four. Star Wars: The Fallen Order, man.
A Star Wars.
Gotta give it
It's
props.
so good.
Gotta give it
It's
props.
so
Yeah,
good.
it is
I,
really
I
good.
haven't beaten it yet. I feel like I'm like 75% of the way through. But I'm adoring it. It's the story, everything about it. It's just a great Star
The
Wars game. It
characters.
fits really well. It it just respects the lore and it adds to it. So
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty awesome. I like the characters. I also haven't beaten it, of course. Again, I've been gone and here and there, so I've been trying to get to it, and I played maybe about halfway. I'm about halfway through it, and yeah,
Or
no,
where are
it's
you at
sick. I love
specifically?
the.
You don't have to spoil any story moments, but
Uh, I'm I'm almost done with Kashyyyk.
how many times you've been to Kashyyyk?
Uh, this is my first time at Kashyyyk.
Okay, yeah, you're not halfway.
Am I not halfway? How
No.
many more planets could you possibly go on?
Well,
Uh,
I mean, you leave Kashyyyk and you go back, so
oh, okay, okay, gotcha.
yeah,
Well,
because
I'm almost done with my first time at
you
Kashyyyk.
go to the planets, then you leave the planets, you go back when you get new
Oh,
abilities and
okay.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm like right. I'm pretty much like on the ship, getting ready to leave Kashyyyk. So, uh, yeah. So we'll it's super good so far though, and I like the fact that they took from the Soul series. But again, I didn't sign up for it, but at least the gameplay is there. Um, so number three, what you got for number three?
Oh, number three, I got Resident Evil 2 Remake.
Nice.
It's so freaking good.
Yeah,
It's
that's actually my number two.
Oh,
So
look at him
yeah, Resident Evil
spoiling
2.
his list. No, no, Resident Evil 2 Remake was just I've never been I guess the only real Resident Evil game that I beat was Resident Evil 5. I thought that was a great game. Didn't like
Yeah, I
6,
like Resident Evil 5.
could never get into 4. I never played the originals, never played 7. But I played Resident Evil 2 because I don't know, it just looked right up my alley and it's like it's just so the graphics are amazing, the gunplay feels so good, the way the Metroidvania style, I love Metroidvania games, it just does it all perfectly, man. It's so good.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's a fantastic game. My number three is Mortal Kombat 11, and I played the absolute shit out of this game when it first came out. And yeah, Mortal Kombat 11, super sick. If you're a fan of fighting games, I think this is the best fighting game to come out this year. And I still think it's probably one of the better fighting games to just play in general. Uh,
Andrew's still playing
Especially
it.
to watch, man. Is he still
He's
playing
still
it?
playing. Yeah,
Good.
he came back to it and stuff like that. It's like one of the few fighting games where normally when Andrew plays a fighting game, he'll pick like one character. Maybe he'll play a second one here and there, but
Yeah.
but like this is one of the few. I think he's on this fifth character. I think he's playing Raiden now. So
Nice. Yeah, no, it's a ton of fun, and yeah, of course, all the classic characters back, and it's just a ton of fun. Mortal Kombat is just so unique, and I think what always brings me back is the esports, like Mortal Kombat stuff. I feel like all of the streams and stuff I watch of like tournaments, like the different people that come up, like you start recognizing them,
Sonic
and they're
Fox.
just all Sonic Fox, yeah. Um, they are all like they're all like characters of themselves. I don't know how else to explain. Like it's awesome. It's like they're more memorable, I should say. They're more
Than other
memorable,
ones.
and then yeah, other ones like Street Fighter or anything like that. So
Well,
uh,
Andrew was
and
telling
it's
me a
just a
funny
ton of fun.
story
So
about Mortal Kombat, in that it has to do with Sonic Fox, where he was saying how like they come out with tier lists and stuff like that. Say, oh, this character's like garbage, and Sonic Fox will come into these tournaments using characters that were like at the bottom tier, and he'll just like get to the top one or two with what was previously considered a shit character. And after he gets done doing
yeah,
that, they go, oh my god, this guy could do a lot more than we thought, and all of a sudden he's in the high up in the tier list. And so Sonic
yeah,
Fox like made a Twitter comment to the community going, "Hey guys, maybe you should stop making tier lists until you know what all these characters can actually do."
yeah,
But the fact that like that's still happening now, where they still haven't figured out the meta completely. There's characters that they thought were shit that turns out that once people figured out how to use them, they're actually really good.
they're really good. Yeah,
I think it's really interesting, and I think doesn't normally happen in games nowadays where people figure everything out in the first 5 days.
yeah, five. Yeah, first couple days, everyone's like, oh, this is the best character. Uh, and yeah, Mortal Kombat just kind of has that magic to it, and so I think it's actually probably one of the best fighting games to come out in a while. I'll actually say, not even just this year, dude. I'll say in a hot minute.
Do you think that they're
And,
gonna like support it for a while, or do you think they're gonna come out with MK12 sooner rather than later?
normally they hop over to Injustice, so maybe they'll come out with Injustice next. But so far, I don't think all of the characters have been released yet, so they still have like that like season, you know, like 2 or 1 or whatever they're on. I guess it's one because year one, yeah, year one DLC where it's like, hey, we have like these characters coming out. So they've released a couple. I know they released Terminator, which is fucking awesome. That's another thing about Mortal Kombat 11. They always have these crazy fucking characters. I think in Injustice, which is made by the same people, on Injustice they had the fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle show up. Like that's just awesome. Like NetherRealms does such a good job with like bringing just like cameo characters and stuff. It's amazing. So yeah,
Well,
that's definitely number 3 on my
my
list.
whole thing too, though, is it sounds like Mortal Kombat 11 is like holding on to the fan base more so than previous entries, including
Oh
Injustice.
yeah, definitely.
So that's why I was
Yeah.
saying like if they're going to support, because obviously they kind of come out with game because people play games for like six to 9 months or whatever, and then they kind of drop off to play some other new fighting game or a new game period. So I was thinking, if this is not the case with Mortal Kombat 11, they wouldn't want to just drop a new game and kind of pull from that fan base and split it. I'm speaking of
Yeah,
like
that's true.
Injustice, because they're similar. Well, they seem like similar to me. I don't really know much about fighting
Yeah,
games. They might be way different, but
or even like Street Fighter, like a lot of people really really love Street Fighter 4. Everyone thought it was like the perfect fighting game. And then when Street Fighter 5 came out, a lot of people really did not like it. And I was one of those people that also didn't really like Street Fighter 5 at all. And then it split the fan base like you're saying, like a lot of people just went back to Street Fighter 4 and were playing that a whole bunch, and then the other half of the people were playing the new Street Fighter 5. So, yeah, it does happen, but yeah, Mortal Kombat 11, definitely number 3. Uh, One of the best fighting games to come out in a while, and I plan on going back to it as well, especially with the new characters and stuff. So, number 2. What's your number 2, Rob?
Team Fight Tactics, yeah, woo woo woo
Yes.
woo.
Fucking team fight
Dude,
tactics. Hell
TFT,
yeah.
dude.
Love
I've
it.
never been a fan of MOBAs, and then they're like auto chess, and I was like, auto chess, that sounds super cool. You know what is this auto chess where you set up your people and you play them, and you're the one who actually got me into TFT, and ever since they came
Yeah,
out
I
with
saw
Set
people on
2,
Twitch playing it and stuff.
I think
So I was like, hey, let's try it out.
yeah, no, and God, I have so much fun playing it. It's so good. It's such an easy game to just like sit down and play for a bit. Like you can just put on a video on the side, you can play. And to be honest, set one was good, but it got stale quick. Set two, in my opinion, is better than set one. There's a lot more
Really?
to it. I'm having a lot more fun. I still haven't figured it out completely either, which is probably what makes it so interesting because there's stuff
Yeah.
I haven't.
And the board is bigger. I think I like the fact that the
Oh,
board is like
that's
so
right.
much
You're
bigger.
right. The board is bigger. Another thing too, I just recently started figuring out with TFT is sometimes I feel obligated when they come up with like a piece of the board that has like a power up. I feel
Yeah.
obligated to stick a character on there, but it turns out that sometimes is not a good idea if you don't have a build for it. You don't want to set a character on
Yeah.
the other side. Sometimes you just got to make the decision to go, yeah, that's not good for my team. We're just gonna have to waste that
Yeah.
space.
Change position. Yeah. Because positioning, I think in this set especially, is way more important than the previous set. Because the previous set, you could be like, oh, I'm full Blade Master, and no matter where I position my people, they're just gonna wreck.
Right.
On this one, if you don't position right, you're done. Like they'll figure you out, and you'll be done. So, yeah, no, I agree with you. I actually like set two a lot more as well. I think there's just so many more characters. Just so many builds. I like the whole like elemental stuff going on. Um, and I'm like so curious on what the hell they could possibly do for set three, because they're supposed to change it like every couple of months. So that's gonna be absolutely
Seems like a
crazy.
big undertaking, so we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see what happens. And then I've already spoiled my number 2 is Resident Evil 2 Remake. I think this is probably the best Resident Evil game uh, made to date, and I really love 7, but Resident Evil 2 just hits the nail on the head as like a perfect I don't even want to call it an action game. I want to call it like an adventure game where you're like figuring out puzzles at the same time, like going here, there, everywhere. Like you said, Metroidvania. Um, and to me, it's the perfect action game, action adventure game, I should say, and yeah, adventure pretty much. Uh, yeah, it's the perfect adventure game, and hopefully they knock it out of the park with 3. Now that we have 3 coming out soon. But we pretty much said everything we had to say on Resident Evil 2. So what's your number 1, Rob? Number 1 game of the year. What is your favorite game this whole year? What would be your game of the year?
So I'm slightly maybe cheating with my game of the year because technically the beta or the alpha, whatever you call it, the early access.
Early release,
Yeah,
early
early
access.
access
Yeah.
came out like 2 years ago, but it got released this year. But one of my favorite games in recent memory is Slay the Spire. Amazing game. I put almost 100 hours into it. I've modded it like crazy. The mods brought huge longevity to the game. In fact, I'm almost jonesing to play it now. And
Oh wow.
it's just so. If you've never played it, Jaden, like you have to.
I have. I played it on Game
Oh,
Pass.
okay. Um.
So I tried it out. It was really good. I enjoyed it from what I only played
Oh my
about
God,
maybe an hour.
you're horrible.
I probably played about an hour of it
It's
so far.
it's so
And it
good.
is
I don't
good.
know how you didn't get addicted. It's just like I literally
There's just
imagine
too many
playing that
games now,
game
man.
for about 95 more hours, and then you're at my point.
Damn.
Um, because the
That's
mods
crazy,
bring
yeah.
more characters, more cards, and a lot more cooler stuff. It's just I I want to play it again. It's so good. It's so good, and it's such a relaxed game. It's relaxed like TFT where you could just be drinking. You could be like super drunk, and still be playing that game and having a great time. So.
Yeah. Since Slay the Spire is kind of like a more indie-ish game, like why don't you tell everyone
Oh,
like how it actually plays, like what is it?
that's a good idea. I don't know why I didn't think about doing that. Uh, so it's a roguelike, but it's a turn-based roguelike where you build your deck as you go through this dungeon. And there's three layers to the dungeon, and you're getting relics that give you cool abilities. You're getting new cards, and you're trying to build. You're like one of the some people think that you're just trying to build this huge deck, but no, you're actually trying to build a small deck with exactly the cards you want to your play style. And the different characters come with different cards and different abilities and different relics. And the cool thing about it, one of the things I really like about roguelikes in general is when, or some roguelikes, is when they make you feel that most roguelikes are hard. Then you just die over and over and over again. And this is the same way.
Yeah.
But the items you get and stuff like that, you feel powerful very quickly. You feel like you're building up to be like this god, and you know that. But the problem is, it's so easy to die. So
Yeah, one slip up.
so every single playthrough, you just feel like you're becoming like a god. You feel the power building, only for it to get taken away from you. And then you go back again, you're just feeling you're like this is an amazing run, and it's just like I don't know that high. It's just like what
Yeah.
gets you, I think, in just roguelikes in general. And Slay the Spire has absolutely mastered that. But
Wow.
just to kind of go back to describing the game, it's it's turn-based. It's a roguelike that's a turn-based card game. So you're fighting enemies, you have a hand, you can play a certain amount of cards a turn, and those cards you can do defensive stuff, can buff you, can debuff your enemies. Uh, you just use the cards as attacks essentially. And so there is an RNG element to the game. But that's it.
Yeah, it's really unique and really cool. I've never seen another gameplay like that.
And I played some
So,
copycat
super
games, but
cool.
they were nowhere near as good in
Oh,
my
really?
opinion, or at the very least were just
Yeah.
terribly unpolished.
Wow.
Um,
Yeah. Uh, so yeah, I think that's definitely a good pick. We were super surprised that it came out this year whenever we were actually looking at it too. I was like, oh shit, it did come out
yeah,
January,
I was like, okay, that's my
like
game of
the
the year.
official release date. Yeah. So my favorite game, my game of the year, is gonna have to go to Death Stranding. Um, I've never played, and I've gushed about Death Stranding and talked about what it's like on this podcast before, and I can't get it out of my head. And I feel like a game hasn't resonated with me that much in a really long time. Like this game, so I don't play it like. Maybe that might contribute to it, but like I don't play it all the time because my girlfriend's playing it, and if I play it like on the big TV and I'm spoiling a bunch of shit for her, you know what I mean?
Right.
uh, then that would suck. So I usually wait till she's like at work or she's still asleep or something and I play it. And just those moments of solitude and I'm home alone. Sam is completely alone in the world and it's just I'm just delivering and stuff, man. And I like always think about like as soon as she leaves pretty much I'm just like, oh shit, Death Stranding. I grab it, put it in. Like can't get this game out of my head, dude. It's so addicting to me. I know a lot of people have like some controversies about Death Stranding. They're like, oh, it's not that great. You're just walking, delivering packages. But to me, it just feels so right. And it's my game of the year. I think it's so unique. I've never seen another game like it before. I've never seen anyone attempt a story like this before, where it's just all brand new stuff thrown at you, and uh it's phenomenal. I love the soundtrack, everything about it. Like it's to me it's amazing. I know it has like some of its issues with like oh, Monster Energy drinks kind of be thrown in your face and advertisements and oh, it's just a walking simulator, but it's really not. Like it's really not. There are some really really intense moments in the game, but there's also moments where it's just you're just chilling. Like,
Well,
you know,
I'm not gonna lie.
if you're not able to chill, then
You sold me on it. Well, one, it's Kojima, so we know it's gonna have a good story. It's gonna be really interesting world
yeah,
he
exactly.
created, interesting characters. So that's all good. But I kind of got pushed away from it with all this, weird talk of it being a walking simulator, this and this. But then there was something that specifically you said, because you were hyping it up. You said something like it's kind of addicting to make your routes better. Like you're constantly
Oh
improving your
yeah, yeah.
routes
So
and
you're
this, that,
doing
and this.
routes over and over
And
again.
and
Yeah,
and
and
for
it's
some
super
reason
addicting.
that just like clicked something in my brain where I go, I gotta play this game. That sounds amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, like I know like 'cause you do have a map in the game, but you don't have a mini map. So to like it's kind of inconvenient to have to like sit there and pull the fucking map up. So you start just innately just us being, true born gamers, we just, innately start like memorizing like where you're going and you start like making certain deliveries or like let's say you have to run all the way back to an area but you have a couple of deliveries along the way, you're just like, "Oh, I know where that's at. Okay, yeah, I know where that's at." And you're like, "Okay, yeah, let me actually like try to do it." And then you're like, okay, well, I could actually prepare this time. Like I remember there being this fucking wall I couldn't get past and I was like, oh shit, I have to walk all the way around, but now I could go there faster if I bring the ladder. It's just so cool. And addicting, and again, I just can't get this game out of my head, both the story and just everything about it. I'm just like, damn, I want to play more and more and
That
more
sounds
of this
awesome.
game.
And you actually bring up a good point, and this is actually something I don't know if I mentioned this in the previous podcast, so it could be retreading the same ground. But I think we need to start removing mini maps from like large single player open world games and stuff because
Yeah, I think so too.
Because you just think about GTA 5. When you're playing GTA 5, you were constantly looking at that mini map, and you
Oh
didn't
yeah,
know
I
the
don't look
cities.
anywhere else.
Like you didn't know the streets. And if you took that mini map away and you played that game for like 10 hours, you would know the street names, you would know the city, you would know, okay, I know how to get there without having to think about it because
Yeah,
you've been all over the place. You've learned the city, and I would love to do that. Speaking of that, we
yeah.
should definitely get into doing the heists because I would totally love to do heists. They're actually coming out with a
The heist of GTA.
Speaking of that, they're coming out with a new heist.
Oh really?
Yeah,
I haven't played GTA in a while, man.
me neither. I
It's been
just
a hot
I
minute.
just know I no, I've only played like one heist. That's it. So
Really? I've done them all like a million times on PS4.
even the new ones, or just the original?
The original,
Okay, because they
the
they've
original
come out with
ones.
quite a few heists now.
Yeah, I think they came out with a couple new ones. So
I forgot you played them. Damn it.
yeah, I played the absolute shit out of GTA. I was like super. I got to the point where me and my friends like we could not. We didn't know what else to do. Like we were so rich, we could buy anything we wanted, and we had the best apartments, we had the best cars, we had the best boats. Like I think at one point I just bought a helicopter because I just wanted one to like, you know, fuck around with, and I bought a second helicopter. You know what I mean? It was just
I think that's
like
part of the
we were so
problem
rich
too,
at one
though.
point,
It
and it was like, all
is
right,
when we tried to go back to GTA to play the heists, you already have to have
yeah.
a certain amount of wealth. You have to have a certain kind of
Oh yeah, you
apartment,
had to pay for some. Yeah,
and
you had to pay to be able to do the
you
heists.
also need good equipment too in order to survive those heists.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
And
Yeah.
the problem is
Yeah.
as great as that game is, the loading times just kill it for me, dude.
Dude,
I
they're
just can't
so
do it.
long. Yeah.
Don't have the time for that shit.
Uh, but so now that we've announced our game of the years, let's get into some notable mentions. I'm just gonna spit off mine real quick, and then we can get to yours. Like I said before, Devil May Cry 5 was fantastic, but I had to bump it off. Like that was my number 5 before I remember New Dawn came out. So like Devil May Cry, absolutely fucking fantastic. They brought it back, man. Capcom is fucking back. And then another one, and this isn't a game that came out this year, so it didn't qualify, but I played it this year for the first time. That's Kingdom Come Deliverance. If you have not checked out this game, it is one of my highly, like, most high, like you just have to play it. Like, you have to play it. Like, it's just a must play. It's so good. It's so unique. It does play a little bit like Skyrim and stuff like that, but it's unique in its own way. Um, Especially if you like things like Dungeons and Dragons, like numbers and stuff like that. Like I think like they do a really good job with like your stat sheet and like actually telling you what you're able to do. Um, and then of course Teamfight Tactics was on my list because I play that all the time. Gears 5 is another one. I was super stoked that they finally put execution. They actually listened to the fans for once. But there's just so many problems with it. We still can't fucking chat. I don't think. We haven't tried in a while, but like the chat system was like bugged out. Um, so that's why it's not on the list. Final Fantasy 14, played that with my girlfriend. It was a ton of fun. The new Shadowbringers expansion, fantastic. Uh, the Outer Worlds, I think you might have that somewhere on your list somewhere, uh, because the Outer Worlds is pretty good, but I think we all got a little tired of it after some time. You probably talked about that. I think we've talked about Outer Worlds on a bunch of different previous
Well,
podcasts. Did I say Outer Wilds before? Or
I don't know. Get some mixed up with those, but the Outer
I get it
Worlds.
mixed up so much.
Actually, so I've actually speaking of Outer Worlds, so I've actually me and Mike have both dropped the game, because
Yeah, I
it was
dropped it
super
as well.
fresh and interesting to begin with, but then you start slowly realizing like there's like the pool isn't there after the beginning, and you start
Yeah,
realizing I don't care about this world, I don't care about these characters. There's not enough interesting things, scenarios happening, um, and you start kind of going like, why am I here? Why am I doing this? I don't care. And so then we just
yeah.
all kind of dropped it.
I felt like I didn't have like the same feeling of loneliness that I got from Fallout, right? So Fallout, I'm like, hey, I'm the lone wanderer, blah blah blah. In this, they actually gave you like these companions that they want you to care about, but you're right. I did not care for them as much. Like
Well,
I wish they would. I wish it was more
I
like
actually did like the companions, so
really you liked it. See, I wish it was more like Mass Effect
I
or
loved
something. You know what I mean?
Felix. Felix was awesome.
See, I didn't really care too much for any of them. Like they could have all probably like I don't know,
Well,
not been
the
included in the
same
game. I
issue
would
that
have cared,
the Outer
but
Worlds has is the same issue that Fallout 4 has. And it's the difference between why Fallout 4 is not as good as New Vegas or 3, in that New Vegas and 3 there was always an interesting situation everywhere you went. Everywhere you went, even if there
yeah,
wasn't a
that is
mission
true.
there was something interesting. In Fallout
There's something
4,
happening.
uh, it was just a lot of they would set you up in a scenario that sounded interesting at first or something like that, or not even that. They were just like, oh, go get this guy, he's gonna do this, and you just go through a whole apartment building just killing stuff. It's not interesting. It was just that
Yeah,
everything you were doing was just killing, 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 and that's the same thing the Outer Worlds did. Interesting situations were just very few and far between. So
yeah, yeah. No, I totally agree. Definitely didn't have the hook. And then another shout out to Greedfall, which also would be on my list because I actually really loved Greedfall, but it's just like the little inconsistencies and the fact that when you sheath your weapon, it's gone, and like just little bugs like that, or like
things
it
that
was
kind of
just
take you out of
buggy.
the game.
Yeah, take you out of the game. But besides that, it was really good. I think it's better than anything BioWare has come out with in a while, so it definitely needs a mention. And then Kingdom Hearts 3 was okay. And then I played Catherine Full Body, but and I beat that as well. Um, and if you have not played Catherine, it's super awesome. So definitely check that out too. What are your notable mentions?
My notable mentions are Rocket League, just because
Of
it's still
course.
relevant and I still love it. The Division 2, I actually really
Yeah,
liked that
which we
game.
played a
I
bunch
adored
of.
the Division 1,
Yeah.
but I kind of stopped playing it because Jaden stopped playing it. And
I stopped playing it because it
we
started feeling
we
like
didn't
another
even get to the
job.
Dark Zone. You freaking
I know we did not, and I wanted to get
I
to. That
know.
was like the part I was probably most
Well,
excited
that's
for
what
was
we
the
were
whole
about to do.
PvP.
You
But
stopped right as we were about
I
to do the
know,
Dark Zone. I'm
I
blaming
know.
on you.
But we did beat the main game though, which was a ton of fun. We had a ton of fun with that.
That's true. And next we got Dragon Quest 11. I played that this year. Um,
Yeah.
I know it came out like last year or
Wait, you
2017 or
said it.
something.
You said you really tried to finish it. Huh?
Yeah, it's the problem is so it feels
Long,
great. It feels great. It
so
feels
long.
polished. I adored it for like the first 60 hours. And then you start going like, okay, this game is really long-winded. The story is not interesting enough. It kind of started overstaying its welcome. It's a great game
Yeah.
that just kind of started overstaying its welcome. It should have been shorter. And so I've kind of
Yeah.
basically dropped it at this point. Even though I really want to beat it, I just can't stomach playing through. And just to know that I don't even think I've started the third act yet. So, um, It's
Yeah.
just way too long-winded.
Oh, my cat just came in the room. Hang on. There we go. I kicked him out. He somehow opened up the door. What the hell?
Learning.
All right.
And
Anyway, yeah.
then the last one's Halo Reach, man. I've been playing that this past week, and it's awesome. And I can't add it as a game of the year, even though it's kind of like a re-release. I think it could still count for me as a game of the year type contender, but it didn't release with custom games,
No
man.
Forge.
No Forge, dude. No
Yeah.
Forge. And I guess technically it has custom games, I think, but it just doesn't have Forge. Um, and that's a big no-no, man. I need that Forge.
Yep. No, I totally agree. And I can't wait to play it. We're actually gonna play that right after this podcast, so I'm definitely gonna try it out. Um, but all right. That is our game of the year.
I also like to mention
Let's
too,
not
real
go.
quick, uh,
Oh yeah, what's up?
Titanfall 2 went free to play or whatever on PlayStation Plus. I think actually we're gonna talk about that later.
Yeah, we are gonna talk
All
about
right,
that
all right,
later.
we'll continue.
All right. So, what I was going to say is, there's a couple categories for the Video Game Awards. There's a link there for you. Uh, Hang on, my cat somehow is back in the room. All right. So instead of going through action game, action adventure, let's just go over this like initial game of the year and kind of compare it to our list. And what would actually be your vote from this like official game awards list? You know what I mean? Um, so I'll go ahead and rattle them off. So for game of the year at the Game Awards, you can vote for Control, which I believe me and you both haven't played and haven't mentioned this whole time. Uh,
Well, I think
then
part of the
there's
big reason I've heard it's a good game. I think part of the big
yeah.
reason though is because it was a Epic exclusive, and it also didn't get a
Oh
ton of
yeah, that's
marketing
right.
either. So,
That is true. Yeah. It is made by Remedy, which
which I
is dope.
love Alan Wake.
And they're dope. Yeah, Alan Wake is amazing. So, but so Control's up there. Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, Sekiro, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, and The Outer Worlds. Those are the game of the year. So Outer Worlds is actually up on that list. When for me and you, it was both kind of just like a notable mention, like hey, it was kind of cool. But
Yeah, it's kind
and
of
then of course
surprising it's up there.
Sekiro. Yeah, and Sekiro, which you didn't like at all, right? Like you
I
didn't really
just
like
I
Sekiro at
just couldn't
all.
get into it. I don't want to say I didn't like it. It just I don't know. I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah, and I've even played that one. It just did like you. It didn't look that interesting to me. For a Souls
And
game.
Super Smash 2 was
Uh,
just kind of it to me. I'm not saying any of these games are bad, except for maybe Outer Worlds.
yeah.
But but I just couldn't get into Smash Bros. I can't get into any of the Smash Bros stuff anymore. You know, I played the original in Melee
Yeah.
as a kid, but I think now um I need a little bit more substance.
Yeah. And I agree. Like, I'm not a big Smash Bros. Person. I don't really play Smash that much. And whenever I do, it's only whenever I have like friends over. But the fact that I have to go through and unlock every single fucking character, like in the old Smash Brothers, I remember there being like some cheat code that you could put in, and all the characters are unlocked. And they did not have this in this game, so you had to sit there and grind and grind and grind and grind. And the story mode is not good. It's actually pretty shit, in my opinion. It was not fun at all. And and you're just sitting there grinding, man. And I don't want to grind for all these freaking characters. Just give me all the characters so I can play with my friends when they come over. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's just so tedious. And so
I
we
actually don't
barely played it.
mind.
We actually we
I like the grind of getting the characters.
really see. Well, see, that'd be good, but if I could just get a cheat code though,
No, I don't like it.
for
No,
us
screw
people
you.
that don't wanna don't
Unlock
wanna
the
do it.
characters. That's some
Yeah,
stuff that from the
cause.
old days that I think should still be around.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Me and my friends we kind of switched to playing like Super Mario Party instead. Like we used to play Smash Bros, but then like we were like, hey, let's try unlocking characters, but then everyone got bored, and and now we play like Super Mario World and uh like Ultimate Chicken Horse or something.
Oh,
Like we don't
Chicken
even
Horse
play
is
Super
great.
Smash Brothers anymore. Yeah, we're already done with Smash Bros. So I have Smash Bros. We don't even fucking play it. So that definitely would be
Actually,
my
Chicken
vote.
Horse would be a good
So
game for us to play, by the way, for the channel.
yeah, dude, Ultimate Chicken Horse is so much fun. Uh, Great game. Maybe that should be on my notable mentions since that my first time playing it was this year as well. But So I guess
You
those
never
three
played
are
it with
out.
us?
No, I never played with you guys.
Oh shoot.
I don't have it on PC. I have it on
Uh,
Switch.
uh, man, you should get it on PC.
I know, but it's so perfect on the Switch with the small controller.
Just
But
play it on with the
yeah,
Xbox.
just played a little bit on PC.
So
Yeah,
one of the things that
for
surprises me
sure.
about this list is that Jedi Fallen Order is not on it.
Yeah, I think they didn't make the cut. I think it did not make the cut because I don't think it's on any of these lists
No, it's
down here.
not.
Like even action adventure games, I think it came out too late. I think they had a cutoff date.
That's
And
pretty gay.
given enough time for everyone to play these games. And so Jedi Fallen Order is not on this list. It'll be probably on the list next year. Um,
What's funny is
but yeah, it
games
is
for impact. I'm
not
looking
on
at
there.
this for thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. Um, Sea of Solitude's on
What
there,
does that
and
even mean?
I played a little bit of Sea of Solitude, and I thought that game. I played like the first like 30 minutes. I thought the game was trash.
Really?
Yeah, it was really bad.
I never even I never even really put any mind into that game.
Also, what's a pro-social
Um,
message meaning? Like pro-social meaning or
I
message?
have I have
It
no
sounds political, and I don't.
idea.
I think that's kind of
Yeah, that's kind of weird. That's definitely a weird one. Like, what is Life is Strange? He has superpowers. Like, what's so pro-social about that? I don't know.
pro-social message. I don't
Uh,
know. It's got a
or
theme in there
concrete cheating.
of
He's just like tagging walls. Like, we
be
should all be
nice,
free
be
or something.
nice
I
to
don't know.
people. Um,
Yeah, I guess so. But for the main part, though, the game of the year out of this list, like you haven't played Death Stranding, so would your pick be Resident Evil 2 for game of the year?
out of this list, yeah, easy, yeah.
Yeah. See, mine would be Death Stranding, but yeah, Resident Evil 2 is definitely
Well,
up there
I
for
think
me.
Resident Evil 2
But
is probably. I feel like it's gotta win this because Death Stranding's too polarizing, um, to beat out something like Resident Evil 2. Sekiro, I think, is a
yeah,
little too niche, even though it's popular. I could see Smash Bros. Winning, but I don't. Resident Evil 2, I just think had a bigger impact when it came
yeah,
out. I don't know. Control and Outer Worlds
yeah.
definitely won't win. Those are like filler.
Yeah, and I guess we'll see. So our next podcast we'll go over the winners probably in during the headlines.
Hey,
We'll
all
probably
right.
go over some of the winners, and we'll see if we're right. So I think it's gonna. I think Death Stranding's still gonna take it anyway. Uh, but but yeah. So that is our topic of the show. So we normally go into new releases here. So let's go and do that. Um, but I think we should go over them a little
That's
quicker
fine.
than normal.
I'm just gonna
Normally we would go over each one, but yeah, let's go ahead and
in
just
terms of
rattle them
last
off
week,
for what's coming out.
in terms of stuff that I'm looking at here that might be worth mentioning. Um, Halo Reach came out, so you got that.
Yeah, Halo Reach, of course.
Hero
Yeah, Game
Land,
Pass, go ahead and pick it up.
whatever that is. I'm really not gonna put.
Neverwinter Nights.
I'm not gonna put much thought. I don't really see anything that's too interesting here that I recognize. Um,
Yeah,
so I'm gonna go ahead and skip last week. This week,
that's fine.
Ashen finally came out on PS4, Switch, and PC. That was previously just on the
Yep,
PC. Shovel Knight, King of Cards, coming out on everything,
yep.
December 10th.
Brand new, pretty much
Forgot about that.
Shovel Knight game, which is
Is
pretty
it a
cool.
straight up Shovel Knight game or is it
Uh, it's a little different. You're like trying to it's think Shovel Knight, but with like all the bosses being like card battles. Like you're trying to collect these cards and like battle with these cards in this like card tournament. But at the same time, it still has like in between that you have these like levels of actual side scrolling like classic Shovel Knight. So it's pretty
all right, that
cool.
sounds
It's like a
freaking
card game
awesome.
mixed with Shovel Knight.
And
Yeah.
now that that's on my radar, I want it now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find it on Steam
Yeah.
and add it
So
to my wish list. Oh
you
wait,
should.
no, there's two
It looks
things. There's
good.
Shovel Knight King of Cards and Shovel Knight Showdown.
Shovel Knight Showdown. So I haven't heard too much about this yet. I don't think any reviews or anything have come out yet as of recording this podcast. No reviews or anything, and I think that comes out
It's a
tomorrow.
local
And
multiplayer
I don't know.
brawler. This is a standalone release of the multiplayer mode that will be included for free in Shovel Knight Treasure Trove and added for free to the original Shovel Knight Treasure Trove. So it's a
Yeah.
brawler. That's
Yeah, it looks like
interesting.
Super Smash, but with a bunch of Shovel Knight characters,
If I got it
pretty
for free,
much.
I'll definitely try it out.
Yeah, for sure.
They're really going all the way with the Shovel Knight stuff.
I know, right? They're
Oh
really
look,
capitalizing
Shovel
on it.
Knight Treasure Trove. Oh well, that's the physical release. Comes out December
Yeah,
10th.
it's
Okay.
physical.
All
More.
right. Last
There's
Year
that
the
Terminator
Nightmare.
Resistance.
Yeah, fuck Terminator Resistance.
That fucking trailer,
Hold on.
man. I made you guys
What is
watch. That was so
this?
funny.
There last year it's 5 versus 1 multiplayer survival horror. This actually kind of looks interesting. It's kind of like a very
The
Dead by
last year
Daylight
nightmare.
looking game.
Yeah, it does kind of look like that, doesn't it?
I want to say I've heard of this
Um.
before. So I don't know. I guess
Oh, you know what? I think we did see this at E3.
I think we
I
did.
think,
Yeah.
yeah, we definitely saw this at E3. Yeah. Um. I don't know. I don't think any reviews or anything came out for it yet. So I'm gonna hold off. This is a game I definitely like wait for and like see some like gameplay videos or like see if anyone's playing it on Twitch. Because those kind of games like Dead or Dead by Daylight and stuff like that are really really hit and miss. So
True, true. Next one we got is Dragon Quest Builders 2 finally coming out on PC. I'm semi interested in that game. I know I was interested in when it was just PS4, but now that's on the P. I need to add that to my wish list along with Shovel Knight King of Cards.
I don't like games like Minecraft, man. I suck at building shit,
Oh,
and
you know I
I'm
love
never
building
good
shit.
at it. So I know you like that stuff. I'm totally not a
Fucking
fan.
build
But
that shit all
if there was
day.
like some combat, we're able to make our own characters. Maybe it could be
Well,
interesting to
there is
play.
combat. Um,
Yeah,
but anyways,
good combat though. But we'll see.
Detroit Become Human comes out on PC December 12th.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's a great
Ooh,
game.
what is
If you haven't played it,
this?
it's great.
Cardpocalypse. I kind of like card games as long as they're unique, but well, this doesn't say anything about it, so I guess who cares? But that's
Yep.
coming out for like PS4, Xbox One, and Switch, so maybe that's already out on PC. Um, I don't really see
Yeah.
anything else that looks super interesting on here.
Yeah, nothing. Oh, Boneworks. That's a game that's coming out for your little VR headset. And it's supposed to be like super super awesome. If you have not seen any videos, there's a channel called Node, and they're one of their best friends from the channel that used to always be on the channel too. He's actually one of the like lead game designers for this game, and they always show it off on the YouTube channel called Node, and it looks awesome. Like this looks like probably this was the one game besides like what you were telling me earlier. This was like the one game I was like, oh shit, like I might actually have to get a fucking like that's the Steam
Damn,
headset for this, the Valve Index. It looks absolutely sick.
that
Uh,
sounds freaking
so
awesome.
yeah, and that apparently releases this week. So uh, yeah, definitely check out Boneworks. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for the new releases. So on to the final segment is just quick deals. I'm gonna be throwing out some fucking deals for you guys, so that way you can fucking go play some games right
Uh,
now after this goddamn
uh.
podcast. So some quick deals for you. We got Epic Games is has Juton. It looks like it's like a
I've actually
hand-drawn
played it.
action exploration game. You played
Yep,
it?
because it's on
Wow.
Game Pass.
What is it?
So it's kind of it's a roguelike. It's wait, shoot, wait, is this what I'm thinking of? Wait, what?
This might be something different.
It, well,
uh,
explain it, and I'm gonna look it up real quick.
okay, so the explanation that Epic Games gives is Jotun is a
Oh yeah,
hand-drawn
this is a
action
different game.
exploration game set in Norse mythology. In Jotun, you play Thora, a Viking warrior who died an inglorious death and must prove herself to the gods to enter Valhalla, impress the gods. So it looks like pretty much just like a action exploration game,
I probably
set
should
in
grab it.
like old Norse times. Yeah, definitely pick it up. Again, all these games free or super cheap, so you can play right after this podcast. Uh, and then we have a shit ton of Twitch Prime. If you're like a Amazon Prime subscriber, you get all these Twitch games for free. So of course, Team Fight Tactics, you can actually get a new skin, by the way.
Oh, this was
Um,
already claimed on mine, so maybe my brother grabbed it.
he might have. But there's a bunch of different games. Like I believe Sherlock Holmes came out and a bunch of different indie games. I'm not gonna get too far into them because they don't look like crazy to me, but they are free. And if you like indie games, check them out and might as well try them out. But Sherlock Holmes is kind of the non-indie-ish game there, and that's pretty cool that they're giving us pretty much a chunky game for free. And then PS Plus, we have the free games for this month. Since I don't think there was a podcast last week, and I don't know about the week before, if you guys talked about any PS Plus or Xbox games with gold for December. So right now, you could actually grab Titanfall 2, which is phenomenal on PS4. Like you need to play that. And Monster Energy Supercross, the official video game. So race your friends, good times. Uh, we also
Oh,
have
speaking
the
of
Xbox
Titanfall
games
2,
with.
that's what I want to talk about real quick. Was that I heard
Oh
that
yeah,
since it
yeah.
went
You were
free,
gonna bring that up.
its player base, at least for like the first couple days, went from being like around 1,400 concurrent players to like 70,000 or something.
Oh yeah, whenever games come out for free for games with gold or PS Plus, like it jumps up like super high, and you always find players. Like I remember when For Honor came out for free, and I'm a big fan of For Honor, a huge fan, and I played it forever. And I remember when it finally came out for free on PS Plus, all of a sudden there was just a shit ton of people playing For Honor, um, and it was great because there were a bunch of noobs too, so it was nice. Uh, So yeah, go ahead and pick up Titanfall 2 for sure. I'm not sure about this Monster Hunter Supercross game, but if you like racers, I suppose, check it out. But then games with gold, you have Insane Robots and Jurassic World Evolution,
Wait, what is this?
for free.
Oh,
That's games with gold.
yay.
Yeah, for
All right.
free. If you have one of them Xbox boys out
Ew.
there, then pick that up. But yeah, ew, disgusting. Um, and then last but certainly not least, is the Humble Bundle, the Humble Choice Bundle. If you subscribe this month, you get to pick. Well, I guess so. There's different tiers. So what I'm looking at is there's different tiers. Apparently, you can pick either the basic, which is the 14.99 a month, or the premium, which is 19.99 a month, and uh, you are able to pick from 9 different games or 10 different games. You're able to pick 9 if you pick premium, out of those 10. And if you have the basic subscription, you can get 3 of the 10, 3 out of the 10 games. And they have two: Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Blasphemous, Ancestry Legacy, Phantom Doctrine, Dead Vinland, Horizon Chase Turbo, Dark Future, Desert Child, Aegis, and Xmorph Defense.
And I've only
So
heard
if
like
you
two
pick
of
that
them.
standard for 15, well, I will say that those, or were you talking about the first
Yeah.
two? Yeah, because those are the ones, like, if you just pay that $15 a month, I feel like those are the two ones you're going to want to get is Blasphemous and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Because Horizon Chase Turbo, like, I don't even know what that is. Desert Child is probably the only other one I'd pick. If I had, like, the choose 3 out of these 10, uh, those would be the three. It would be Tomb Raider, Blasphemous, and Desert Child. But yeah, so go stagger up some fucking games, and that's pretty much the December Humble Bundle that we got going on this month. So, and that is also where we will end the Crouch Jump podcast. So, of course, you could go and play some fucking video games. Bye bye.
Late.